Hey guys, welcome back to Aimless Moto. Here we are with my new to me 2014 Thruxton 900, and what we're going to be doing is throwing on some exhaust wrap, because one of the most painful things with these bikes is the fact that they blew, because the stainless headers are single wall and they blew immediately. As you can see here, I've tried to clean the blue off with some Mother's stainless steel polish, and it didn't really come off all that great. I did a little bit more work on this one, and as you can see, I got the blue off, but it tends to lose the luster of being the original stainless color, and it will just re-blue eventually anyway. So the easiest thing to do, the coolest looking thing to do, I think, is to wrap the exhaust. Now, there's a lot of skeptics out there who say that exhaust wrap will deteriorate your pipes, it will break them down, it will cause fractures, it will cause the welds to crack. So to mitigate some of that risk, I'm going to not wrap close to any of the welds. The only thing that I might wrap over is the bung where the O2 sensor was. I may try to wrap around that, but we'll see how it comes out. And the crossover pipe down the bottom here has, it's welded there too, and it's welded at the bracket on the back. So, you can't really avoid any of those, but I really don't feel it's going to be a huge problem. I've wrapped many exhausts in the past and never had a problem, so I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to do it. You can do it on the bike, but you're dealing with 25 feet of wrap. So I bought a 50-foot roll, I cut it in half, and I'm going to do half and half on either pipe. So 25 feet will actually get you all the way from the header of the head of the engine all the way down to the exhaust collector where that clamp is back there. So I really don't know if I'm going to wrap the entire way or if I'm going to kind of stop it right about here and end it right there, because I do kind of like the look of the chrome pipe going all the way back. So right about here is where you start to see the yellow dissipate, right about here. So if I can go about halfway through that primary cover, I'd be okay. And I think on the other side, that pretty much puts me between the primary drive cover and the transmission cover, and the stator cover. So pretty much right here. So the basic tools you're going to need are an 8mm Allen key for the rear mount back here, 10mm socket, 10mm wrench for the rear exhaust clamp, and the crossover pipe clamp. And you will also need a 12mm to get your header nuts off of the head. You will also need you can take them off if you want. If you still have the O2 sensors in yours, your O2 sensors are actually a 17mm. So you'll need a 17mm if you're going to remove these, or if you're going to just wrap around them, which you pretty much have to wrap around them anyway. So it's all up to you what you want to do. So you will need a 12mm open and box end to get that off as well. Before I forget, the wrap we're going to be using is this lava wrap. It's titanium lava wrap. There's 50 feet of it here. We're going to put this in some warm water and soak it while we're doing the work on the bike. Now remember, this stuff is embedded with fiberglass, so whatever bucket you used, make sure you give it a good rinse before you go, feed your horses with it or something, because they're going to have, they're going to be, not happy drinking fiberglass.
There, looks pretty good.
Okay, so I started wrapping this just to show you guys what I'm getting at, where this gets really difficult and really frustrating if you're by yourself. I started it on the inside here, and I began wrapping this way. So I began wrapping counterclockwise all the way down. So on the outside, this is the left-hand pipe. You see I have a nice reveal of about an inch, all the way down. And it's very tight. There's no slack in there. I can still move it up here a little bit because I didn't clamp it up here yet. I wanted to have that floating around just so I can adjust it and move it if I had to. Right up here, I didn't clamp this yet, so want that adjustable for now. But the problem that I'm running into is the further I go down, the more the wrap is winding itself into a knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the vise, and I'm going to put the far end of this piece that I'm working on in the vise. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the shop with this and walk it into the vise as I wrap. So now you can see I've got my vise down there. This is set up in the vise. And now I have full control over the pipe, and I can tug on this pretty hard. Can't really see what I'm doing. And I can tug on this pretty hard. So I can actually back it off a wrap, put some pressure on it, and now I can spin the whole thing and wrap to what I need to wrap to. And I can still get my hand in here. I can still make small adjustments as I need. So I'm gonna walk this into the vise, see how we get on. Okay, so both straps are started. Make sure you put them in a place where you're not gonna see the ends. Now the pipe is completely wrapped. That's pretty much the distance that I wanted to have between the pipes. So now is a good point to double check against your first pipe. And of course, me being impatient, I guess, I've already put the other pipe on the bike. And yeah, we are pretty much dead square as far as length and spacing on the straps. So that's good. How to tighten these straps. These straps are, like I said, they're single time use, so you really want to reef on them when you go to do this. What you do is you take a pair of needle nose pliers, you grab the strap very closely to the little locking mechanism, you grab it and then you spin. And you spin it down towards the strap. So you spin and spin and spin and spin until it stops spinning. You should be able to get a couple of good twists out of it. And you can cut these tails off before you do this. I chose not to, but you can easily just unravel them and pull them back a little bit. You can give it another bite and go ahead and twist it again. Like that. Like that. So these don't like to break, and you can't really cut them with anything other than a Dremel tool. Not too bad. Again, check for burrs. If it's real bad, you know, grab a little chainsaw file or something and just nib the burrs off. There we go. And just like that, we've completely transformed the look of the bike. We're gonna fire it up and we're gonna let it idle for 15-20 minutes. All right, just took it for a quick rip up and down the road to make sure the pipes get even heat. As you can see, they definitely went back to gold now that they're all dried out. They're no longer that odd brown color, so they really match the stripe a little bit better now. Oh, and I almost forgot. When I was doing the pipes, my knockoff ram mount came in. I don't think I'm gonna do a review on this, but it seems to be in decent enough shape. It's pretty much exactly like a ram mount, except it's not, you know, this was $18 and not, you know, $100. It has its own little built-in charging port, which is kind of cool. And it's got this little thing where you can turn it on and off right here with this button. See a little blue light come on in there by the USB. Turn it on and off. So that's kind of cool. That way you can, you know, have it hardwired to the battery and shut it off. So the next thing we're doing to the Triumph is we're going to change out the exhaust. Now it came with these little shorty slash cuts on it, and as you can see, very small diameter, and all the padding's gone. There's no packing in here left. They come with very cheap padding, almost like home insulation padding that's very, very light. So these blow out kind of quick, and these are obnoxiously loud. What I did was I installed the stock mufflers back on, and these are so quiet that it makes the bike sound like a sewing machine. So what we're left with here is an EMGO. They call these EMGO shorties, EMGO pea shooters, reverse cones, hooligan mufflers, cafe mufflers. They're all sorts of different things online. You can find them on eBay. These were like 50 bucks a piece for the two, so it was $100 for both sides. This is the box. This is what they look like. They come in chrome or black. I chose to go with chrome, so they look kind of like the original pipes, because I like the way the original pipes look. Now these come with a multi-stack of spacers so they can fit to your stock pipes. They do not come with the 45-degree extension or the 30-degree extension, whatever this is. Now, I installed this already and I used it on the bike, and it is louder than the slash cuts and more obnoxious than the slash cuts. And the reason is much larger diameter, fully flow through. There is nothing in here. There's no packing in here. There's nothing. So I complained to the seller that they were too loud. He said, well, they're installed, so I can't take them back. So I said, well, that sucks. So he sent me, free of charge, a set of 7-inch baffles. Normally you have to drill a hole somewhere in here to bolt that little hole to the side. I don't want to do that. So luckily enough, you take your little extension here and look at this. It literally slides right in. So essentially your angle piece becomes the baffle. I also have some of this batting material, which I'm going to wrap around the baffle. I have some stainless steel wire that I'm going to wrap it with. Make sure it's nice and snug. I actually have to rip down this so it's a little thinner. This, as it is too thick to actually fit in the muffler. So I'm going to peel maybe a third of this off, like so. Take the thin third, put it to the side, and use the thick 2/3, and then wrap this and stick it inside the muffler. So as you can see, I've already installed one of them on the bike. You can see the silencer, or the baffle, and then the 2 spacers, and then it goes right to the muffler. What's nice about this is there's no giant holes, so you're not going to get too many exhaust leaks around this area. You can always use a little bit of exhaust paste or exhaust putty to prevent any more. And then this is the stock clamp that comes with the stock mufflers that you just mount the 45 to your stock pipes. You can see the baffle down in there with the packing around it. We'll get the other one all set. We'll stick it on here, and then we'll fire it up and see how it sounds. As you can see, the other thing, now that the exhaust is done, the other thing that I did was I printed up some nifty decals. I took the ones that said hang up and drive off. I didn't like the way they looked. I wanted them to be thin like those ones, but they came out kind of bulky. So instead, I made the cafe decision and put numbers on a bike that's not a race bike. And my drop pegs came in. These are the 25mm drop pegs. It was very easy to install. You just pull the pin, put the spring back in. There's 2 pins that line this up, lock it in place, and then you add the peg and lock that in place. So here it is. And we're going to give her a start up. Pardon the one hand. Much quieter. Oh, that sounds so much better. A little blip belly. Not bad. ride. Okay, so the pros of that ride were drop pegs, awesome. Flipped handlebars, awesome. Suspension still sucks, but at least it's not killing my spine. Exhaust, awesome. Everything else, really, really good. I am super excited. Tuesday, the shocks are coming in, so I got like 5 days before I can actually do the shocks and the springs. We'll do a video for that when that comes in. Thank you guys for watching. I know this has kind of been like an all over the place video. I didn't really have a start, stop, end kind of thought process with this. I just spent the past week kind of working on it and videoing, and this is what you got. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll catch you on the road. Keep it rubber side down. 3,500 subscribers. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. It really helps me out. Take it easy.